Georgia court issues, then reverses order to prevent Dominion voting machines being wiped. A Georgia court briefly granted an order to prevent voting machines being wiped on Sunday before reversing course. A lawyer fighting to overturn Georgia's election results touted a short-lived victory on Sunday, with a federal judge briefly granting, then reversing, an order seeking to prevent voting machines being wiped. Lin Wood is suing Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, and several members of the state election board in an attempt to decertify the election results and have Donald Trump declared the winner. Mr. Wood has made sweeping allegations of election fraud and, among other things, had sought an emergency order that voting machines be seized and impounded immediately for a forensic audit by plaintiffs' experts as he takes aim at voting machine company Dominion. The prominent defamation lawyer who famously represented Richard Jewell and more recently Covington student Nick Sandman and Kenosha shooter Kyle Rittenhouse also requested an order that no votes received or tabulated by machines that were not certified as required by federal and state law be counted. That came as election officials in Fulton County announced that a newly purchased Dominion mobile server had crashed, delaying a recount requested by Mr. Trump's campaign until Monday. On Sunday, U.S. District Court Judge Timothy Batten granted Mr. Wood's request for a temporary injunction. Plaintiffs contend that Union County officials have advised that they are going to wipe or reset the voting machines of all data and bring the count back to zero on Monday, November 30, Judge Batten wrote. To the extent plaintiffs seek a temporary restraining order to preserve the voting machines in the state of Georgia and to prevent any wiping of their data, their motion is granted. Defendants are ordered to maintain the status quo and are temporarily enjoined from wiping or resetting any voting machines until further order of the court. Within hours, however, Judge Batten reversed the order after being advised by the defendants that the machines were controlled by the local counties. Plaintiffs' request fails because the voting equipment that they seek to impound is in the possession of county election officials, he wrote. Any injunction the court issues would extend only to defendants and those within their control, and plaintiffs have not demonstrated that county election officials are within defendants' control. Defendants cannot serve as a proxy for local election officials, against whom the relief should be sought. Judge Batten ordered Georgia officials to promptly produce to plaintiffs a copy of the contract between the state and Dominion. The defendants must file a response by 3 p.m. on Wednesday, with an in-person hearing scheduled for Friday at 10 a.m. On Twitter, Mr. Wood expressed frustration at the ruling. Machines are owned by the state, and the Secretary of State administers state laws on elections, he wrote. Why are Georgia officials determined to wipe these machines clean by resetting them? It's the latest setback for Mr. Wood, who is working closely with former Trump team lawyer Sidney Powell in his bid to overturn the election, which saw Joe Biden become the first Democrat to win the southern state for the first time in decades. Mr. Biden beat Mr. Trump by 12,670 votes, or 0.25%, according to results that were certified by the state of Georgia after a hand recount and risk-limiting audit. The president and state Republicans have claimed the process was meaningless and are instead demanding a full audit of absentee ballot signatures. All 159 Georgia counties are currently going through a candidate-requested recount without the Trump campaign's requested signature matching, which they are required to complete by Wednesday, December 2. Election officials in Fulton County, the state's most populous county which takes in Atlanta, told local news station 11 Alive on Sunday evening that their recount had hit a snag due to the server crash earlier in the day. Technicians from Dominion have been dispatched to resolve the issue, officials said in a statement. The Georgia Secretary of State's office has also been alerted to the issue and is aware of efforts to resolve the problem. Fulton County has already finished with absentee, early in-person and provisional ballots, 88% of the total, and plans to resume the counting process on Monday morning, 11 Live reported. Mr. Wood unsuccessfully attempted to stop the vote being certified and is now arguing that the restraining order is also needed for the U.S. Senate runoffs on January 5, where the loss of Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue could hand the majority back to Democrats.